All right, y'all. So, in exactly 1 week, I will celebrate 6 years of being 100% debt free, which will be on April 2nd, 2025. Let me share a little bit of my debt free journey with y'all. So, I started my journey in January of 2013 after receiving my tax document from the federal government letting me know how much interest I paid on my federal student loans. I only ever had federal student loans. And at this point, I had only been making payments for a total of 6 months because my grace period ended in the summer of 2012. And I realized that I wasn't even making a dent in the principal balance and I needed to do something about it. Turns out I actually owned a copy of the Total Money Makeover. It was one of the books that we were required to purchase as part of our senior seminar class, but our professor never made us open it. So at the time, I did hold on to most of my books from undergrad, and I ended up pulling it out. I read it and heard about that debt snowball effect, and I immediately went to work. And so I organized all my debt, which also included credit card debt from smallest to highest. I will let you guys know that my smallest student loan was $500, and my highest student loans, I had two of them that were each in the amount of $8,500, which were from grad school. I believe in 2013, I paid off a total of 3 student loans. But one of the things that set me back during my journey was I would never get rid of my credit card after paying off the balance. Now, at the time, I had 2 credit cards. I had a Bank of America credit card that I had since the summer of 2008. And I also had a Citizens Bank credit card. I did give up the Citizens Bank credit card, but the Bank of America credit card I held on to. And I was just listening to the advice of people who, kind of live like everybody else does. You need credit, you need credit. And I'm not here to discount that. I know that credit is a part of the United States of America economy and society, but on the journey I was on, I should have got rid of my credit card immediately after I paid off the balance. But I kept adding a new balance to it, and it would get high and I'd have to pay it off, and it was interfering with my ability to pay off my student loans. I also want to make sure you guys know that during my debt-free journey, I did relocate twice. So I did relocate the year after I started my debt-free journey. I went back to my hometown of Philadelphia in 2014, only to later relocate 2 years later to North Carolina in 2016. And so these things also impacted my journey. I did also pick up a car payment the year I relocated to the South, but I was very mindful of the amount of the payment. I literally went in to the car dealership and told the guy that I will not get a car payment that was higher than $150 per month. So there were some things that I learned, but again, there were mistakes that I made, and eventually I figured things out. I did finally pay off my credit card balance again, and I gave up that Bank of America card in the summer of 2018. I also made my final student loan payment on October 31st, 2018. And then I made my last debt payment on April 2nd, 2019, which were my braces, right? And so I have been living 100% debt free since 2019. I also went into entrepreneurship 2 months later. That was not expected, but here I am. I have been a full-time entrepreneur as well as 100% debt free for 6 years very soon. And so my encouragement, despite everything that y'all are hearing out here, I know rent can get high. I know that folks come from different backgrounds, and hear me when I say I grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty. If you're familiar with the economy of the city of Philadelphia, you know that the city of Philadelphia teeter-totters between being the 5th or 6th largest city in the USA. However, it is the poorest, okay? And so many of the families there are living in poverty, and our family was one of them. I am not ashamed of my background, and I'm also not using that as, a crutch. I learned what I learned, and I was willing and able to do what I needed to do to make sure that when I got to my 30s, because that was my goal, that I would not still be in debt. And so I'm very happy that I was able to do that by the grace and mercies of God. Throughout my entire time of working to get out of debt, I worked in human resources. That is what my undergraduate degree is in. And once I got my last debt paid off, I went into a totally different industry, and I've been in it ever since. So let this be your encouragement that it's never too late to start. And please stop letting the media deceive you into thinking that there is no hope for you, or even anybody else on these platforms telling you that there is no way you can get out of debt in 2025. You can, and you will, if you put your trust in God and know that it's worth the work.